Good morning. Digital Fiber Communication DET 3202 course outcomes. The students will be able to understand different communication media, various blocks and applications of optical fiber communication system. The students will be able to understand optics rules and measure the optical fiber cable parameter. The students will be able to identify suitable optical source for given application. Students will be able to identify suitable optical detector for given application. Students will be able to identify suitable connectors and measure the losses in the optical fiber cable. Students will be able to understand the architecture of the optical networks given for given applications. So sixth course outcomes we are dealing with now in the sixth chapter. Optical network is there, which is for communication, which is very fastest type of the network. Data signal is through optical transmission. Advantages are there. It is having high bandwidth. Optical network is having high bandwidth, and it can transmit for longer distance. In networking system will be more flexible, cost effective, and today widely it is used, as there are components, elements of the network are nodes, trunks, and then stations are there. Along with that, the other components are there, like protocols, etc. The station is the optical network which serves as a source or destination of the information. Basically those are devices which communicating. Trunk is the basically transmission line, optical fiber cable under the order of to transmit the optical signal. Network composed of one or multiple trunks. So node is nothing but that acts as a hub or multiple transmission lines inside the network. In case of single transmission line, optical network does not require any node. So one device is there and one optical fiber and one receiver, one more device. But multiple devices are there, then definitely there must be nodes. Topology is the type of the connection which is required. Multiple types of the topologies are there. We have seen the router is basically provides the suitable path. It selects the path, it arranges the path, because multiple paths are there. Which path to take, it will decide, which is efficient. Then the topologies we know: burst, ring, star, mesh, hybrid, etc. Then there are types of the categories of the network: LAN, campus-wide, local area network, campus-wide network, metropolitan area network, wide area network, etc. So this you have already studied in the elective computer network and data communication. But those who are not having this subject, just go through it. It is very easy. It is available on the net, or you can check the books with your friends. So this we are revising because we have already discussed this. Amplifiers are there, optical amplifiers which replace the repeaters very efficiently, and these are working in optical domain. No interconversion of the photon to electron electrons to photon is required. So optical fibers are placed in intervals along the optical fiber link, and these provide linear amplification. So regenerative repeaters are replaced, and regenerative repeaters requires optoelectronics, which is replaced in this case. So it is avoided the substantial electronic circuitry. So it is more efficient method, and it provides a simpler solution, single inline component, which used by kind of modulation at virtual transmission rate. Moreover, such device is bidirectional, and if it is sufficiently linear, it allows the multiplex operation of several signals at different optical wavelengths. So the WDM. So WDM is possible with the help of optical amplifiers, because it is having quite wide bandwidth. It is having quite sufficiently large flat gain over the bandwidth. For single mode fiber systems, effects of signal dispersion is small, and attenuation is also due to the fiber losses becomes major limitation on the repeated spacing. Such systems do not require full regeneration of the transmission, where you can go for the amplifications. Two main approaches of the optical amplification is there. One is optical amplifiers and the second is fiber amplifiers. Optical amplifiers are semiconductor amplifiers, and fiber amplifiers are some fibers which are doped with specific material, or they are using the stimulator Billion scattering, so with the rare earth dopants. Both amplifier types are semiconductor and fiber have ability to provide high gain over wide spectral bandwidth, making them very important. Semiconductor amplifiers offer an advantage to their smaller size, so because they can integrate subsystems. So this is the semiconductor optical, very wide band and sufficiently high gain. Raman and semiconductor amplifier is also there. Then Raman and parametric amplifiers bandwidth is also shown, and erbidium doped fiber amplifier, which is very high bandwidth, gain is there and bandwidth is sufficiently large. Erbidium doped fiber amplifiers, these are fiber amplifiers. But if you check the Boolean amplifier, that is having very narrow bandwidth, 50 megahertz only. Okay, but each is having its own application. No doubt, all the wideband amplifiers, high gain amplifiers, high gain bandwidth amplifiers, these are used in the WDM, whereas Boolean amplifier used in the selectors, channel selectors. So semiconductor optical amplifier SOA and erbidium doped fiber amplifier EDFA and Raman amplifiers are having wide spectral bandwidths. Okay, so these are used in the wavelength division multiplexing. And Boolean amplifier, which is having only 50 megahertz bandwidth, it cannot be utilized in WDM, but Boolean amplifier is used in a subsystem of the WDM, and that is allowing the amplification of a particular channel, single channel, and boosting and other channels, nearby channels, it is not amplifying. So I will check mic, I will check. Is it audible now? Is it audible? Am I audible now? Please make confirmation, give the feedback. Am I audible? So feedback of Atharva and Tejas is there. I am not audible, but mic is on. Am I audible? Please give the feedback. Mic I have restarted also. Mic I have made off and again on, off and on some 2-3 times. Am I audible? Please give the feedback. So whereas the SOA exhibits a low power consumption and their single mode waveguide structure make them particularly appropriate for use of a single mode fiber. Okay, so I will again restart the live in 1 second, so that so this erbidium doped all other SOA all are having wide amplitude bandwidth, but Boolean is having very small bandwidth, and it is used for channel selection. SOA exhibits a low power consumption. It is a peculiarity of the SOA, which is very useful in the as it is low power consumption amplifier, and single mode waveguide structure makes them particularly appropriate to use. For single mode it is very more appropriate, and SOA is a fiber amplifier which presents fewer problems of the compatibility with inline interconnection with the optical fibers, and at present SOA are most developed amplifiers, and the most practical optical amplifiers today is SOA and EDFA, and new pumping methods of material are also improving the performance of Raman amplifier. So signal input, optical amplifier medium pumping power is there, and amplified signal is obtained from this. So it is having some of the characteristics. High gain is there, but saturation power is 5 to 10. Large bandwidth is also there, and it can operate on 800, 1300, 1500 nanometer wavelength, and compact and easily integrated with the other devices is there, and can be integrated into the arrays. So these are the, so this is the semiconductor optical amplifier block diagram. Weak signal is inputted, and there is a Fabry-Perot cavity, semiconductor cavity, which is populated inverted with the electrical drive current instead of optical drive current. Optical pumping is here, electrical pumping can be used in SOA, and anti-reflective coating is there, and we are getting amplified signal. So SOA is nothing very same as a laser cavity, which is used as a discrete amplifier, which can be integrated with the array of the amplifier and switching gating devices. And SOA is finding application in all over optical systems, regeneration systems. And rarer doped amplifiers are finding increasing importance in the optical communication system, and most important version of the erbidium is erbidium doped fiber amplifiers, EDFA, because as low as 1.55 mm wavelength it can work. And weak signal is inputted to the coupler, and coupler is also having the pump laser, either 980, 1490, 80 nanometer pump laser. Isolator is there just to avoid the noise which is from the coupler getting back into the source, and the source disturbances are not coupled. So coupler couples both these to the EDFA. EDF is a long fiber, which this fiber is having the stimulated emission, but it is having some noise creation issues. So narrow band filter is required, and amplified output is received. So high power transfer efficiency from pump to is there more than 50%, and wide spectral bandwidth amplification is there more than 20 dB, which is very much useful in the WDM. There is a saturation output limit, that is more than 1 millivolt, that is 10 to 15 dBm. So gain time constant long more than 100 millisecond, and overcomes the patterning effect and intermodal distortion, that is low noise. Long dynamic range is there, low noise figure is there, but it is polarization dependent, and it is suitable for long haul applications. Disadvantage of EDFA is there, that is large device, kilometer length fiber is required, and in case of SOA very small miniature fiber is there but it is kilometer length. Fiber itself is used, 1 kilometer fiber, etc. And it is having SAE, amplified spontaneous emission. There is always some output even though no signal input is there, and this is spontaneous noise. Crosstalk effect is also there, and gain saturation effect is there. So these are the disadvantages. And its characteristics are rear doped amplifiers work much like laser, and primarily difference is that they do not have the resonator, and it is just a fiber, it is not requiring any resonator. Amplification occurs primarily through the stimulated emission. The medium is pumped with the population invert for the population invert state, and pump powers are typically of 220 to 250 milliwatt. So EDFA amplifier characteristic is isolator is used to reduce the reflection, narrow band spectral filter is used to reduce the transmission amplifier spontaneous emission, and resultant optical gain depends on the optical frequency and local beam intensity. So these are the some characteristic features. Now we have seen a few slides of the WDM and DWDM. Okay, so the wavelength division multiplexing WDM we have seen in the last lecture, but we will very quickly go through these 4 or 5 slides, and then we will start the undiscussed these slides. So WDM is a fiber optic transmission technique that enables the use of multiple light wavelength or color to send data over a same medium, that is wavelength division multiplexing. एक same fiber is there which is used for sending multiple wavelengths, that is wavelength division multiplexing, and there is a dense wavelength division multiplexing, DWDM also. So what is DWDM? That further enhances the effectivity of WDM. WDM, what is it is doing? it is using same fiber to send multiple wavelengths. Previously only one wavelength for the fiber and infrastructure was used, but nowadays multiple wavelengths are simultaneously. So the system is having very wide bandwidth operation instead of single wavelength. So this is the very advantages. It increases the bandwidth to very high value, and in the advantages we have discussed this megahertz, that gigahertz bandwidth of the system is increased to hundreds of terahertz. Okay, so 1000 times or more it is increased. So 2 or more wavelengths can be traveled on one fiber, and several signals can be transmitted in the optical waveguide during the wavelength frequencies on the optical spectrum. So early fiber transmission system puts on the stand as a glass through the simple pulses of the light. Signals are saved as a simple pulses. The light was flashed on and off in the previous days. Nowadays the wavelength interfacing filter demultiplexers are shown, which are nowadays whatever the combined wavelengths are sent, that requires this device to separate out the signals at the receiver. And this is important device because of this it is possible to combine the wavelengths with the help of couplers at the transmitter. So this is having W1 lambda 1 plus lambda 2 signal coming, and this semi-transparent and selective mirror is there, which reflects one wavelength while passes the second wavelength. And similarly green rod is there, which is having the filter which reflects one wavelength and which passes through it second wavelength. And due to the sinusoidal path which is known for green rod lenses, exactly the focal points can be identified to connect the fibers to select the to pick up the wavelengths selected. Okay. So wavelength division multiplexing is a technique in the fiber optic transmission that uses the multiple light wavelength to send over the same medium. So WDM does not help with multiplexing the multiple optical carrier signals through single optical fiber channel by varying the wavelength of the laser light. So multiple wavelengths are sent, lambda 1 and lambda 2, and within the wavelength there are multiple channels can be combined. Okay. So WDM allows the communication in both the direction in the fiber cable. So WDM allows both direction cable, so both direction transmission. So this is the unidirectional system, how it is, that is shown. Multiplexing of the incoming different wavelengths are there, and which are combined, mux multiplexing is there, and it is sent over the fiber, and at receiver demultiplexing is there. And similarly from that side the multiplexing of multiple signals transmitted over a single cable, and demultiplexing at the receiver end is there. And if it is bidirectional, which is the fiber system, it is having the sending signals multiplexed and it is transmitted over same fiber, and at a receiver demultiplex, and on other side multiple signals are multiplexed and sent over the same fiber, and at the receiver they are on other side, the first side receiver, they are demultiplexed. So it is bidirectional system. So process of wavelength division multiplexing in WDM, the optical signals from different sources or transponders are combined by multiplexer, which are essentially the optical combiners. So optical combiners we have seen in the 5th chapter. So different wavelengths are combined together for the transmitter. Okay. So this is the multiplexer, which is nothing but combiner. Okay. Then the combined signal is transmitted over the single optical fiber strand, and the receiver end, the demultiplexer splits the incoming beam into the components, and each of the beam is sent to corresponding receiver. So this is the completion of the combining and separating, splitting the different wavelengths. Okay, that is multiplexing and demultiplexing. So type of wavelength division multiplexing WDM is it is divided into 3 different wavelength patterns. Okay, So normal wavelength division multiplexing is there, which is also called bidirectional wavelength division multiplexing, that is WDM and BWDM. This is one pattern. Second is coarse wavelength division multiplexing is there, that is CWDM, and third is dense wavelength division multiplexing is there, that is DWDM. So normal wavelength division multiplexing or bidirectional wavelength division multiplexing is there, coarse wavelength division and dense wavelength division multiplexing is there. So normal wavelength division multiplexing we have discussed now, and we will go for the dense wavelength division multiplexing also. So in case of normal WDM, sometimes called BWDM, it is used the two normal wavelengths on the fiber. Okay, two wavelengths are used simultaneously on the fiber. So this is the wavelength division multiplexing. Whereas in the coarse wavelength division multiplexing, it is defined by WDM system with fewer than 8 active wavelengths per fiber. So if 8 active wavelengths are there at least, so it can be defined as coarse wavelength division multiplexing. CWDM is used for short range communication, so that it employs wide range frequencies with wavelengths that are spread far apart. So coarse wavelength division multiplexing increase the number of wavelengths used, but they are kept far apart, so they can accommodate less, only 8 or 10 wavelengths. So this is the coarse wavelength division multiplexing, and similarly this coarse wavelength division multiplexing is standardized channel spacing and permits the room for the wavelength drift as laser heats up and cools down during the operation. So it permits the wavelength drift as different wavelengths are spaced far away from each other, they can accommodate less, that is 8 hours like wavelength. But since there is a space in between the wavelengths, this spacing permits the room for wavelength drift at the laser. As continuous working, the laser heats up and cools down during the operation. So this wavelength may shift slightly here and there. Okay, so this wavelength is allowed the shifting, and that do not mix with the other wavelength because of this space provided in between the wavelengths. But as the space is provided in between the wavelength, the large gap is provided in between the wavelength, the number of wavelengths which accommodated are less, like 8 or something. And this is the coarse wavelength division multiplexing. CWDM is a compact and a cross-effective option with the spectral efficiency is not an important requirement. Where the spectral efficiency is not required requirement, then we can go for the CWDM. That's why it is used for localized networks instead of the major network. Okay, so CWDM is used for local network which is having the sufficient separation so that it can accommodate the laser heat up, cool down, wavelength drifts. Okay, wavelength due to the laser heat up. So dense division multiplexing is there, which is defined in terms of frequencies. DWDM's denser wavelength spacing fits more channels onto a single fiber, but costs more to implement and operate. Obviously, the complication and the cost effectiveness will be less in this case. So denser wavelength spacing fits more channels onto the single fiber. So DWDM is for system with more than 8 active wavelengths, obviously, per fiber. Because if you consider up to 8, it is a CWDM. Now DWDM is having 8 or more active fiber. Typically, DWDM divides spectrum finely fitted 40 plus channels typically. Okay, so very finely it utilizes the whatever the available bandwidth is there, and very finely cutting into the different channels, it can fit the almost 40 and more than 40 channels into C-band frequency range. Okay, so this is DWDM. Now let us check the DWDM. We have checked the WDM now. Dense wavelength division multiplexing is DWDM, that stands for dense wavelength division multiplexing. DWDM stands for dense wavelength division multiplexing, which is an optical multiplexing technology used to increase the bandwidth over existing fiber optic backbones. Already backbone is existing, and with some technique it enhances the bandwidth, increases the bandwidth. The dense offers, here the dense word offers to the fact that DWDM technology supports more than 80 separate wavelengths, more than 40 channels, more than 80 separate wavelengths. Then each about 0.8 of the nanometer wide. Okay, each is having 0.8 nanometer wide, so it is the bandwidth. Each channel bandwidth is 0.8 nanometer, it is very large bandwidth. Okay, on the single channel optical fiber. So if the applications are considered, this is sufficient bandwidth. Okay. The working principle, DWDM technology increases the network capacity and makes efficient use of bandwidth. Okay. The data from various different sources is put together on optical fiber, in which each signal travels at same speed on its own light wavelength. That is important. Each signal travels on its own light wavelength. So light wavelength multiplexing is there, wavelength multiplexing is there. In early channel, the demultiplexing into the original source at the receiver end. Every channel is having the demultiplex the signal into the receiver. Therefore, different data formats with different data rates can be transmitted together. So there is a demultiplexing, and each signal is traveling with its own wavelength. It is nothing to do with the other signal on the other wavelength. That's why every channel can have different format, different coding, different data rate, different data speed. That's why it is not using the common system at the end as well as at the transmitter, and over the fiber it is transmitted at the separate channel. So every data channel can have different data format, different data rate, and though these differences are there, they can be transmitted together at the same time through the one optical fiber. So that is advantageous. So data formats like the internet data, synchronous optical network data, SONET, synchronous optical network data, SONET, you must have studied SONET. Then the asynchronous transfer. One second. Then the asynchronous optical network data, so internet data is there, synchronous optical data is there, that is SONET, and then asynchronous transfer mode ATM data is also there. So these all details you must have gone through in the networking theory. Okay. So all together, all the different type of the data can be combined on the wavelength division multiplexing. The multiplexing is nothing to do with the type of the data it is handling, and it is transferring. The working principle for the transmission capability for the transmission capability for DWDM is 4 to 8 times of the TDM. Time division multiplexing you might have knowing, you must be knowing in the basic communication system, TDM, FDM, time division multiplexing. Suppose one communication channel is there, there is a transmitter and there is a receiver, okay, and then the channel which is used by transmitter and receiver is used for very small timing. For 1 millisecond it is used, for then next 10, 12 millisecond it is not used. So during that 10-12 millisecond another transmitter can be used, that is called time division multiplexing. Or if the channel speed is there, that medium speed is large, then whatever the transmitted signal is there, that signal is transmitted quickly for some time duration, and remaining time duration other channels are allocated the time for fast transmission of the data which is stored during that period. So this is called time division multiplexing, time domain multiplexing. Okay. So DWDM is 4 to 8 times of the TDM, time domain multiplexing, which is also wavelength division multiplexing. So EDFA multiplexing is the in various parameters, like time division multiplexing is there, TDM is just now discussed. FDM is there, that is frequency division multiplexing. Different frequencies are used in same medium, in that case a continuous transmission of each frequency is possible. WDM is same as wavelength division FDM, frequency division multiplexing. So frequency division multiplexing is having continuous transmission of each. In time division multiplexing intermittent transmission there, and in frequency division continuous transmission. So WDM is having continuous transmission. Now in this continuous transmission WDM, that is FDM is nothing but WDM, each part of the total bandwidth is allocated for particular wavelength, and continuously that wavelength is being transmitted. Now within that continuous transmission of one wavelength, that is the time domain multiplexing, if that small bandwidth is separated or multiplexed again, okay, in the frequency domain, okay. So wavelength is allocated, one particular wavelength is allocated one small part of the bandwidth, that is time domain multiplexing in WDM. Within that particular bandwidth, if again different frequencies are allocated, that becomes DWDM, dense wavelength division multiplexing. So it can have 4 to 8 times more transmission capability than the TDM, time domain multiplexing. So EDFA, iridium doped optical amplifiers are deployed to boost the strength of the signal in DWDM. So it is boosting the strength of the signal so that the long haul transmission is possible and signal to noise ratio is maintained. The signal can be transmitted to more than 300 kilometers before regeneration. Because of this type of the signal strength boosting, it is possible to transmit even more than 300 kilometers without any repeater or boosting or amplification, without any regeneration. Very long distance transmission is possible, 300 kilometers. Okay. So it is due to the EVDM amplifier. Once it is amplified, it can be possible for transmission of 300 kilometers. Again, then it will be regenerated at after 300 kilometers. So this is the dense wavelength division multiplexing DWDM, which is having that lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 dash 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 lambda 176. Suppose it is one of the example. So this is one side. Similarly, one more side will have again lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, etc. And it can be lambda 176. Okay, channels. So if you consider this as a transmitter and this as a receiver, all these lambda 1 to lambda 178 systems on same lambda 1 to lambda 178 other systems will be communicated individually. So lambda 1 be sent to this wavelength division multiplexer system, lambda 2 also will be sent, lambda 3 also will be sent up to lambda 176 suppose. All the wavelengths are multiplexed here and then they are sent over the fiber link, single fiber link, which is having EDFA in between, that is fiber amplifiers. But once it is amplified, maybe 300 or more kilometers it will go for the transmission, and then there will be again demultiplexing, dense wavelength division demultiplexer is there, and individual wavelength will be communicated in the receiver. So this is the principle of working of DWDM technology. As the EDFA is having the sufficiently high gain, we have seen in the graph also, largest gain can be achieved with the EDFA. That's why EDFA is used with sufficient broad bandwidth also. So EDFA is used for the boosting the signal on the transmission line. So this is the WDM which can accommodate the wavelengths into single wavelength channel of the WDM also. Whatever the one or two channels are there, it separates very finely all these channels, and with different frequency or different wavelength can be placed over the fine small channels, so that multiple channels, maybe of the order of 80 channels or 164 channels or many channels, 200 channels can be obtained for 200 different wavelengths. Okay. So backbone DWDM network structure, in that the DWDM based network structure can be divided into three classes. One is simple point-to-point DWDM link, second is DWDM wavelength routing with electronic TDM and switching routing backbone network, and all optical DWDM network. Okay. So simple point-to-point, one receiver or transmitter there, another receiver and transmitter. This is simple point-to-point is there. Then DWDM wavelength routing is there. If network is there, multiple nodes will be there, and those nodes will have the protocols, and those protocols can have the routing mechanism. So the alternative paths can be possible for use. So DWDM wavelength routing is also possible with electronic TDM and switching routing backbone network. So obviously the existing electronic TDM and switching routing backbone network is available and protocols are available. So with that, the DWDM wavelength routing can be possible. And one more is there, that is all optical DWDM network is possible. And in that the electronic part is not taken help of. Okay. So simple point-to-point DWDM link is possible with electronic switching routing backbone network. DWDM wavelength routing can be done, and complete all optical DWDM network is possible. So these are the classes of the DWDM based network structures. Whatever we are dealing here is just to have very shallow introduction. Okay, just to understand what is there. It is not very in detail we are going through also. Just we are having the working principle level or definition level of the architectures, just to understand the, because within one chapter we are going to study it. Okay. So what is DWDM? Different classes. Simple point-to-point DWDM link is there. Then there is already electronic computer network is there. With the help of that electronic TDM switching routing backbone network, the DWDM wavelength routing can be done. So that is a mixing, a hybrid of existing technology and DWDM technology. And all complete optical DWDM network is also there. That is one class of network DWDM technology is there. So this is just for an example. There are multiple options nowadays available. This is just to understand the types of the networks. In case of simple point-to-point DWDM link, as a syllabus, this is just we are checking some of the varieties which would try to cover all the varieties of the systems which are available. So there are many combinations of the systems also. Okay. The simple point-to-point DWDM link is there, in which in this the DWDM architecture, the electronic node can be SONET SDS switches. Okay. So this is the SONET SDS switches which are there as a node, or internet routers are there as a node, or ATM switches are there as a node, because all the type of the data, SONET data, internet router, internet data, or ATM data, all are combined in the dense wavelength division multiplexing, isn't it? Just we have seen. Or any other type of the network nodes can be possible. So this is simple point-to-point DWDM. So SONET will be connected with the SONET switch, internet router, internet data, one transmitter and one receiver can be connected to the internet router. Similarly for ATM. Then DWDM nodes consist of, typically the SONET is there in our syllabus. We'll going to touch that. The DWDM node consists of typically a pair of wavelength multiplexer. DWDM node consists of typically a pair of wavelength multiplexer and demultiplexer. Okay. And a pair of optical electrical and electrical optical converters. Okay. So wavelength multiplexer is there to combine all these. Wavelength demultiplexer is there to separate out all these wavelengths. Okay. And optical to electrical and electrical to optical converters are there to interface with the electrical or electronic networks. So if the networks, electronic networks are there, and those electronic network will have obviously the signals into electrical form, electronic form. So we must be converting those signal wherever required into optical. We will have the optical operations of WDM. We will transfer it with the WDM, and again we can convert wherever required from optical to the electrical. So these requirements are there. A pair of wavelength division multiplexing is obviously required, and pair of optical electrical optical converters, of course they are required, because we have to make it compatible with the electrical networks, that is computer networks. So which is there in the point-to-point DWDM link. So in the simple point-to-point DWDM link, each wavelength channel is used to transmit one stream of data individually. So as we have seen in the previous 2-3 slides before, simple point-to-point channel is using the transmit of one stream of data individually. From one transmitter it is individually transmitting to the other receiver. The DWDM wavelength multiplexer combines all of the light wave channels into one light beam and pumps it into a single fiber. So all such link the wavelengths are there, it is combined, and DWDM what it does, it transfers on the single fiber for the propagation, transmission. The combined light of the multiple wavelengths is separated by the demultiplexer at the receiver obviously, and the signal carried by each wavelength channel are then converted back to the electrical domain through the optoelectrical converters, that is photodetectors. After separating out the channels, each wavelength will have its own system thereafter, and that particular wavelength detectors are employed there, and that detector will convert the particular wavelength into the electrical, and then further that electrical signal is communicated to the computer network, because computer you want to connect the electrical network in the maybe in the Ethernet cable or something. Okay, in the physical layer computer requires the electrical signal, isn't it? The simple point-to-point DWDM link, which is in this way, one wavelength channel can be equivalent to the traditional fiber, in which one light beam is used to carry information. In traditional fiber, what was there? One channel was there, one wavelength is communicated, isn't it? That is the traditional wavelength channel, that's optical channel. But in this way, in simple point-to-point DWDM, one wavelength channel is same as traditional fiber. Okay. So what was in the traditional fiber? There is a transmitter, there is a fiber cable, and there is a receiver. Okay. So here we are having the same system, but on same fiber we are sending one channel lambda 1, another channel lambda 2, dash 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 up to 200 channels are there, and this totally is sent over single fiber, isn't it? Now this one wavelength is acting as this olden days traditional fiber, one transmitter to one receiver in the simple point to point DWDM link, where the routing etc. is not there. Okay, dynamically this channel is not used. So simply all the transmitters are combined, sent over the fiber, at the receiver end all are separated and sent individually the channels. So every wavelength is acting like the traditional fiber single link, one beam link. Okay. It is worth noting that the wavelength channels in this fiber can be used for both directions. Obviously the two fibers are used with each of one direction. Okay. One direction is there, the two fibers are used, but both directions are there, in one channel it can be accommodated. Then second is a wavelength routing with electronic TDM. Okay, time domain multiplexing. In this structure, wavelength routers are used. So router means a router is there, that means it can have multiple paths connected together, and for particular node it can have the routing algorithm. It can send the data like this or like this for particular node. So this node may have some more router and will come like this, or it may have the alternate path. So router can send data over like this or this. So this is the router routing, it is called routing, router's function. In this structure, the wavelength routers are used to configure or reconfigure the network topology, the network topology from time to time as per the requirement. Okay, for efficiency the router will do routing and establishes the network dynamically, continuously it is establishing the network. So it can configure the network and it can reconfigure the network topology. Within the optical domain and the TDM network, nodes are used to perform multiplexing and switching in the electrical domain. Okay, so this is the wavelength routing with the electronic TDM. This combines the optical electrical network architecture and can apply in SONET SDH, in which the electrical TDM network nodes would be SONET switches. Okay, electrical nodes are there and optical routing is there. So TDM network nodes are used to perform multiplexing and switching in the electrical domain. So it is in the as a SONET SDS nodes. Okay, so TDM network nodes would be SONET switches, or in internet, which is the electrical TDM network, nodes would be the internet routers. In SONET it will be SONET switches, or in TDM network it will be internet routers. Okay. The architecture can also be used in the ATM network, where the electrical ATM the nodes would be ATM switches. So now the nodes, if it is used in the SONET, it will be SONET switches, ATM, it will be ATM switches. Then in internet, it will be TDM nodes, network nodes. Now in case of all optical DWDM network, that complete optical DWDM network is there, then electrical TDM switching nodes can be of any kind. Okay, such like SONET SDS switches, internet routers, ATM switches. In previous case, if it is a SONET network, it will be SONET switch. It will be TDM, that internet is there, then it will be TDM. If it is application of ATM network, then it will be ATM switches. But now in electrical TDM switching, nodes are like this: SONET, SDH, internet router, ATM switches, etc. This indicates that all optical TDM nodes in the all optical architecture can be optical now. Okay, SONET SDS switches, or all optical ATM switches, or all optical internet routers. The different types of all optical TDM switches node can also be in one network, provided that the protocol conversions are implemented. That means each SONET will have, internet data will have, ATM will have different protocols, and it can work now for all the type of the nodes. So one can work for all nodes. So if it is SONET and node is used for ATM for some time, then there should be a topology conversions. Okay, protocol conversions. There will be, protocol is the set of rules, so that the data is packed in this way, address is placed in this way, CRC is placed in this way, and the framing is like this, isn't it, in data communication. So in ATM it will be different, in SONET it will be different, and if we are using all optical DWDM network, then there is no separate SONET to SONET connection, there is no separate ATM to ATM connection. There will be generic node to generic node. Node can have SONET, node can have ATM, node can have internet data. So if all are coming together on the single node and node is routing this data, then there will be clashing of the protocols. So in this way the protocol converters are there implemented, and this problem is sorted out. In fact, the optical TDM switch node and the wavelength routers, one routing site can be combined into all optical switching node, and that is only forward the packets, data packets through the time domain multiplexing, but also select the light path intermittently according to the availability. So if this is the node and this is interconnected like this, in figure we have seen this in the block diagram in the initial stage. If it is interconnected like this, so suppose this one, this one, this one, also these connections are there. So it is possible to have multiple paths for the packet. So suppose one terminal is there on this node and another terminal is there on this node, and these terminal have to communicate. The communication is possible through like this, like this, like this, or even like this, isn't it? This we have seen. And computer network students are already gone through this in their previous lectures. Okay, so this can be light path intelligently can be selected for the available paths to loads of the links. Okay, so the optical TDM switch node and the wavelength router in one routing site can be combined into one all optical switching node. That is not only forward the packets through the time domain multiplexing, but also selects the light path intelligently according to the available loads in the link. Okay. So a set of optical network elements connected by the optical fiber links have optical channels which are carrying the client signal. Set of optical network elements connected by optical fiber links have optical channels which are carrying client signals. So what is this? This is optical transport network. Okay. So just now we have seen in the WDM, the all optical networks are there. So in optical transport network, okay, OTN, okay, optical transport network, set of optical network elements are there. Okay, optical network elements which are connected by optical fiber links and have the optical channels which are carrying the client signal, and these signals are in optical form. This is the optical transport network, OTN. What is optical transport network? Optical transport network, OTN, is a set of optical network elements connected by optical fiber links having the optical channel which carries the client signals converted into optical form. Okay. It is able to provide the following functionality in the optical channels. What are the different functionality in the optical channels? Okay, functionality. It can transport, it can multiplex, it can have switching, it can manage. It is having the management of the data as well as the channel selection or path selection. It can supervise the data and it can have the survivability of connectivity. Okay, so these are the functions of the OTN. It can transport, it can multiplex, it can have switching, it can have the management of the network as well as data. It can have the supervision, whether the continuing data communication is having the errors or if it is error free, if it is detected, then what to action to be required. If data is properly routed, the speed is maintained, or if there is a overloading of the data, then alternate path is to be needed. Whether this is efficient or it should be reshuffled, everything is supervised. And survivability, the connectivity is existing or some errors, points, problems are there, that is checked reliability of the networking. So transport, multiplexing, switching, management, supervision and survivability. Okay, these are the different functions of the or the functionality we can call of the optical transport network. Okay. So is it audible? I think just now I have disconnected. Till now I am able to see this signal. I think I have disconnected just now. Okay. So I am uploading this on the YouTube disconnected part. Last, I think only for few minutes it is getting got disconnected. I am not receiving your this WhatsApp also for that. So I think no questions are also there any on the chat. So it is not showing the timing, means it is disconnected just now. So I will upload this on the YouTube and you can check it on the YouTube, this upload, and we can continue tomorrow this lecture. And I have uploaded the quiz yesterday, and you sort it out, so that I will again upload today this quiz. So And one more thing, that is practicals. I will make available the recordings of practical done on the in the laboratory kit. It is very simple to do the connections, etc., because the readily available kit is there. No much complications in the connections are there, but physically you are not able to do. That is the only question. So if it is time is permit for that, we will definitely go for that. But for time being, we are just having the this type of the part. We go by how the time goes on. So if it is permitting, sometimes I will definitely show after the this also, whenever you come for college for any your processings. So you can spare very small time to understand the kit and to go through it very quickly. That kit can be assessed and practicals can be seen again physically. Okay, so I will stop here. So we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.